Equal pay for women. Equal pay for women.
Gender pay gap?
That's right.
What if I told you that on average, the male full-time employee works more hours than a female full-time employee?
We don't need your man statistics, okay? Go
We're
away.
talking about equal hourly pay gap. Men make more than us.
And if I told you a woman earns the same hourly wage as a man, would you guys still be protesting about the gender pay gap?
There's jobs that only men can do and we're not allowed to.
Yeah.
Like what job, for example?
Like garbage man. It's literally in the name, garbage man.
Well, what if I told you I can get you and your lady friends a job in garbage disposal? Would you like that?
Yes, yeah, we'll do it.
Perfect. I'll pick you guys up here tomorrow at 4 a.m.
Okay, great. We'll be here at 4. Baby, just listen, we'll take some cute stories. We'll make it look like we're, I don't know, doing something for the planet.
Okay.
It'll look good.
You gotta pull more.
We're not getting paid enough for this.
But you're getting paid the same as men.
Yeah, but we should make more. We're women dragging garbage.
That's discrimination against men.
That's not cool. Yeah.
What?
I just broke my nail. I'm done.
I'm done too.
Sorry, buddy. I'll find some guys.
Cool, I'll listen to my back. I got it.
Feminism is a blessing in disguise for men. Now we don't have to feel like we need to be a provider to these modern women. They wanted equality, so they should now become financially independent, even do jobs that used to be exclusively men doing them. They wanted equality, so we give them equality. Do not expect a man to be a provider. Women, you got to do what you got to do. The days of being pampered are long gone. If the modern feminist women believe in equality, then they should also expect equal obligations. This in fact means that these women should be required to serve in the military, just like men. Even the actress Gal Gadot, who played Wonder Woman, served in the military. There's no reason why modern feminist women shouldn't be able to do the same.
I'm here to say one more thing.
Oh, goody.
I just had to drag my AC out of my car to my apartment building. 3 guys passed me. None of them offered to help.
Why should they? Women are strong and independent. They can do everything on their own.
None. 0 out of 3. Why? Because you couldn't lift it? You were too scared to lift it? Is that why? Am I intimidating? Am I more masculine than you?
No, that's not what it is at all. But let's take a moment to think about how many women, thousands upon thousands of women, are saying every single day that in fact they don't need men. They don't need them at all. In fact, they're saying sometimes that the world would be better off without men. But apparently, some women still need men for grunt work. I should think that they would be grateful that men are finally listening to their wishes, ideas, and their feelings. But apparently not when it comes to lifting heavy objects.
The only thing in our society that bothers me the most is the way that men and women don't get along no more. That's really what's bugging me about it. Men and women just don't get along. Like I hear women say this all the time. I know a lot of you sisters be like, chivalry is dead. Don't you? Don't y'all feel that way? Like men aren't gentlemen anymore? That's right. Chivalry is dead. And women killed it.
The modern woman has killed chivalry in men. Chivalry was a way for men to show women that they were special. Holding a restaurant door for a woman, whether leaving or entering, did not mean you were hitting on her, but that as a man you recognized that women, and to a larger extent the feminine energy, was special. Helping a woman carry a heavy load with no strings attached was normal for a man. Then here comes the feminist modern woman. She saw chivalry as condescending towards women and oppressive towards women. What a load of horse manure. Chivalry died because women stopped acting like ladies. Men, it's high time that these modern feminist women open their own doors, do their own handiwork, mow their own lawns, carry their own bags, fight their own battles, and take care of themselves. That is what they wanted. Kindly oblige them.
A woman playing against a man tennis player, you can see it being fairly competitive.
Serena and Venus Williams did exactly that. Challenged any professional male player to a match as long as they were outside of the top 200. The challenge was accepted by Karsten Brosch, who was ranked 203rd in the world. And the match was a close one. He beat Serena 6-1 and Venus 6-2.
It's a completely different sport. The men are a lot faster. I love to play women's tennis, and I only want to play girls because I don't want to be embarrassed.
Most genius is a male. Men are also taller, heavier, and physically stronger than women, on average. Men have always tried to take care of women, unlike what the feminist modern woman says, and we see this in products that mainly women use that were invented by men. The baby carriage was invented by William Kent. Birth control pill was invented by Gregory Pincus so feminist women can enjoy their sexual freedom and prowess. The blender was invented by Stephen Poplewski. Women with low self-esteem can thank Dr. Vincent Cherney for breast implants, which a lot of these feminist women use to enhance their beauty and sexuality. The invention of color television by John L. Baird only made the experience more colorful for feminist women to use it as a medium to spread their venom. These are just a drop in the ocean of things men have done to make women's lives better and more comfortable. Even the mirror these feminists look at themselves every day was invented by a man. The phones these modern feminists use to communicate their vitriol towards men was also invented by a man.
When they say it better than I ever could, I just let them speak.
Does anyone know how I can cancel my membership to the whole feminist movement? Because it's not giving what it was supposed to give, so I'm no longer interested. Even the word feminist, what is feminine about me working hard and paying bills? Back then I'm singing independent. I don't know what possessed me to be singing such nonsense. It was the work of the devil, to be wanting equal this and equal that. How the man to be doing demanding things and the woman to be doing damsel in distress. Oh, I don't know what I would do without you. Because me, I need the man. For every little thing I want to be calling my man. Because who'll be reaching the top shelf for me? Who'll be killing spiders? Fine babe like me should be coming and killing spiders. Do I like the scene of the warrior princess? Listen, I don't know who brainwashed us. I don't know who started the movement, if it was Susan B. Anthony and the suffrage rights. But I'm suffering more today than I was yesterday. Please, whoever's in charge, unsubscribe me from the list. Cancel the membership now!
Her words rang so true to me. As a former feminist, I feel like I was dealt a lie. And it's why I speak out vocally against the feminist movement.
So wait a sec. How are you equal if the men are the ones that have to fight and die to defend the country? The men are the ones that build and maintain all the infrastructure. Like, none of this stuff in the studio is built or maintained by women. Do you know that like 90% of infrastructure jobs are still held by men? And that if you look at the top 20 jobs held by women now in 2024 versus 1924 are almost the exact same. So women have had 100 years to do whatever they want, and they still do the same 20 jobs they did 100 years ago. Other than we switched out farm labor for HR work. But other than that, we're secretaries, nurses, daycare ladies, early childhood education, administrative assistants, retail workers, all the same shit that we were a century ago. So
modern feminist women are unhappier than their mothers and grandmothers ever were. These feminists said that a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle to pretty much say that women do not need men. Women began to have sex like men, making sexual deviancy into an art form. Feminism is now about the superiority of females and oppression of men. The feminists movement has caused countless divorces, and in some cases, it caused women to leave their children with their ex-husbands and go their merry way because children seemed like such a burden. The feminist equality push wants affirmative action for women not in all types of work but those that have a level of power to them. Saying, women are as good as the men, mistakenly implies that women must be held to some implied higher standard that equates to male competence. This sadly promotes incompetent women over competent men. Women need to discard the word equality and instead embrace equity, which would suggest that while men and women may have different strengths and weaknesses, they should both have equal opportunities to succeed based on their individual abilities and qualifications.
Don't chop that. Don't use that to chop the ice.
Feminists made women delusional, giving good men a hard time, but karma is ruthless. Take a look at this conversation and see how this woman gets a reality check.
Is it unreasonable for me to look for someone who's 170 centimeters tall?
No, that's reasonable.
Is it unreasonable for me to look for someone with a bachelor's degree or higher from a similar university?
No, that's reasonable.
My annual salary is about 200 to 400,000 RMB. Is it unreasonable for me to look for someone with an annual salary of 300 to 4,000 RMB?
No, that's reasonable.
I was born in 1990. Is it unreasonable for me to look for someone born around 1990, plus or minus 3 years?
No, that's reasonable.
I have 300,000 RMB in savings. Is it unreasonable for me to ask for a dowry of 280,000 RMB?
No, that's reasonable.
If you meet these requirements, would you be willing to date someone like me?
I might consider it.
How could you?
I'd have to be out of my mind. Think about it. A man with an annual salary of 400,000 RMB, around 30 years old, who has a car and a house, and is willing to give a dowry of 280,000 RMB. and is handsome and over 170 centimeters tall, wouldn't he look for an 18-year-old?
Yes, right. But it's also reasonable for him to look for someone like me.
I beg your pardon?
If he can find an 18-year-old, why would he choose you?
But I'm more accomplished than an 18-year-old.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
In what way are you more accomplished? You're older and have more wrinkles, right?
That's enough. I don't want to hear anymore.
Modern women believe that they are more attractive than they actually are. Most modern women are well educated, successful and independent, which they believe gives them the right to dictate relationship expectations. These women want a man who makes six-figure income or higher, has a six-pack abs, 6-inch or longer eggplant and is 6 feet or taller. Men on the other hand could care less about a woman's achievements. No man ever got an erection by looking at women's degree or her career, but plenty of women are happy to spread their legs by looking at the guy's career. A lot of modern women lose great guys due to expectations and standards. Women have impossibly high standards for men and pretty low standards for themselves.
But what's so terrifying with gender equality? I think we need to learn boys to be more sensitive, but also young girls to become more self-confident.
The problem with that is the data indicate that the consequence of the policies that you're promoting have maximized the differences between men and women. Because there's only two reasons that men and women differ. One is cultural and the other is biological. And if you minimize the cultural differences, you maximize the biological differences. So for example, on average, men are more interested in things and women are more interested in people. And that's actually the biggest difference we know of psychologically between men and women. In order to become an engineer, you have to be extraordinarily interested in things rather than people. Well, most of those people are men. And if you want to become a nurse, well, then you have to be much more interested in people than you are in things. And most of those people are women. And so you get differences in occupational choice that are mostly due to biological differences, and you cannot minimize that by social engineering.
The women got paid out from a pool of $30 million from the Women's World Cup. The men would draw from a pool of $400 million, okay? $400 million, $30 million. Why is that? It's because the Men's World Cup generates $6 billion in revenue. The Women's World Cup generates $131 million in revenue. If you want to talk about pay disparity, the Women's World Cup players get paid out 20% of the total revenue. The men get paid out 7%. As a percentage point, they are getting much more. The problem is, for anybody desiring equal pay, and by the way, I think equal pay is a ridiculous concept in and of itself. If the women generate more revenue, they should get paid more than the men. Don't strive for getting the same, strive for getting what you're worth. And if you're worth more, then get...
Let me just tell you something. I don't know what the deal is with, like, men now.
What is wrong with men this time?
But I had told him prior that I will be having pre- and post-date expenses, and is that okay, and are you going to cover them?
Yes, there's nothing quite so charming as a woman charging a man for her time.
I don't know if he wasn't listening or like what the deal was or whatever.
Maybe he thought one was kidding, joking around, because who would honestly take that amount of entitlement seriously?
But when I handed him the white envelope, he looked shocked.
Gee, I can't imagine why.
Then he opened it and it's receipts. Hello, pre-post-date expenses. Hello, like what kind of females do you be dating?
Probably the type that don't normally charge by the hour.
So I handed it to him and he literally looked shocked at me and said, I can't cover this. It was $478 for pre- and post-date expenses.
In terms of great investment ideas, something that comes off in less than 2 minutes of soap is not the best thing to invest $478 in.
You asked me on a date, and mind you, we really didn't even have that good a conversation because he was on his phone the whole time, and I have a very strict no phone policy on dates. Hello, you're here to pay attention to me. Look at all the effort that I had to put into going on this date, and now you have a problem with pre- and post-date expenses?
If only some individuals put the same amount of effort into their personalities as they did to their outward appearances, some might not be on their phones.